So welcome everybody to the 251 Connection. Today we are, I have a special interview, but the 251 Connection is connecting community leaders and business owners with the audience in the 251 area code. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out our website for blogs and information on the guests that come on. So today we have Donna Armstrong. She is the director of Hope Haven. Hope Haven is an organization that they're Christ-centered, faith-based ministry seeking to meet the physical, emotional, and spiritual needs of victims of human trafficking and bring awareness to our area to the presence of such activity. So I did say human trafficking, and that could be a hot topic for some people. It surprised me just when I received the phone call about reaching an audience and coming on the show, and I thought it was super important. That's why we're not on our normal day. We're on Thursday because we have an event coming up, and it's this weekend. So I wanted to get this information out there and let you know it is happening in our area more than I would expect. And it kind of surprised me. So without further ado, I'll let Miss Donna Armstrong talk about Hope Haven. So go ahead, Donna. What is it that you do?
Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting us to be on your program today.
Yes, ma'am.
It is very important to Hope Haven that our community is aware that human trafficking is happening in our area. It is happening in every community across the United States. We very often think that it is a third world country problem when in fact it could be happening as close as next door to you. So about 5 years ago, Hope Haven received our first resident in our shelter. Our shelter is here in the central Baldwin County area, and we have been serving adult women victims of human trafficking for 5 years. So what we do in the shelter, we receive a call. Generally it's from law enforcement or a different agency, or actually from individuals themselves or their family.
Okay.
of a woman who is in need of escaping human trafficking. And so they come to us and we provide everything they need: their shelter, their clothing, food, medical, dental, emotional, spiritual guidance, any and everything that they need at no cost to them or their family.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that is amazing.
We are basically a complete volunteer program. We have great connections in our community. Doctors, dentists, a great network of resources that provide help to us to serve these women. In the early days, we were a short-term shelter.
Okay.
But we have recently expanded our program to be a long-term program where we can help individual women for up to 2 years.
Wow. Okay. So how does it work? You said there's a number to call. What's the best way for somebody to get with you or get with the organization to say, hey, I suspect or I know of and in need of some help?
Okay. We work very closely with the National Human Trafficking Hotline, and I'm going to give you that number. I think I know it by heart, but I don't want to mess it up. So if you suspect there is human trafficking activity and you suspect that there is an immediate danger to someone, then you should call 911. You should not intervene yourself. Human trafficking is the second largest illegal industry in this country. It is very big business. So when you interfere, you're interfering with someone's money.
Yeah, that is simply mind-blowing that it is that. I mean, you're talking about...
It's a $32 billion industry.
Yeah, and you're dealing with human lives. I mean, it just blows my mind that's that's happening.
Isn't that crazy? That's where I was 5 years ago when when the shelter was open. You can also call the national hotline if you just want more information or if you would like to report human trafficking. That number is 1-888-3737-888. And so they would take your information, and then they would probably, if there's a victim that needs help, then they, in this area, they would refer you to Hope Haven, and so that would put you in contact with us. We have a website, hopehavenal.com. We have a Facebook page, Hope Haven in Summerdale, Alabama. Our offices are in Summerdale, so that's an easy way to make sure you're at the correct Hope Haven Facebook page.
Yeah.
And if you follow us on Facebook, then you would be updated on all of our training events, all of our fundraising events, and you would be able to ask us direct questions. So those would be the ways. Please don't interfere or intercede if you see something that looks suspicious. Call someone else. It could be, you could put yourself in grave danger, or you could put that victim in grave danger.
So one of the things too is as I said before, I was just shocked because being in the military, we're trained on these things because we go all over the world and we know it happens there and in different countries. But to come home and know that it's happening in the 251 area code, kind of it shocked me. So I don't know that success is the right word, but what would success look like in your organization, or what would a
our greatest success is that someone comes through our program, leaves our program, and lives a sexual exploitation free lifestyle.
Absolutely.
That is our ultimate goal.
And in some ways, in my opinion, just creating this awareness, but the initial phone call is a success because,
exactly, that was going to be my next step. Sometimes it's a success because it's a first step in their journey if they only come and stay one night.
Right.
If they only call and talk to us, because then they know there is help there.
Right.
On average, it takes about 5 or more times to actually escape.
Wow.
Because it is so ingrained. The average age of entry into the commercial sex industry is like 14. So if an individual girl or boy, please don't misunderstand, human trafficking is no respecter of persons. It could be a boy, a girl, a man, a woman, black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever.
Yeah,
anybody. It could be anyone.
Yeah.
It could be the individual from a very rough neighborhood, or it could be the valedictorian of high school.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter. It's business.
Right.
And so as long as there's someone willing to purchase, there will be someone willing to sell.
Right.
It's just business in their minds.
So we talked about, success could be the phone call, it could be helping the person get back on track, different things like that. But what about discouraging moments that you've seen?
There have been quite a few discouraging moments through the past 5 years, which have led to our program evolving. As I mentioned earlier, in the early days, we were a short-term program.
Right.
Well, one of the most disappointing things to us is that we would place these women in a long-term program, and they would not stay there. They would leave.
Okay.
And so if you can imagine that a person has lived in this trafficking world of fear and not being able to trust anyone, and then they put their trust in us.
Yeah.
And they've established that trust.
Yep.
And then 45 days later, it's time to move on to another program. Well, then they're starting all over.
That's right.
And that's very difficult. And so we found over the past 2 years that the ones that stayed with us the longest were able to really make that change in their life.
Got it.
And so this year we established a 2-year program. It's 3-tier program. So a short term, a next tier that gives them about 6 months to settle in there, and then move on to our program that would allow them to stay with us for up to 2 years.
Okay.
In the beginning, we concentrated on their physical, emotional, and spiritual. Well, we found that's not reaching every area, and so we now have developed a program with a more holistic approach, where we are approaching their spiritual, their mental, emotional, physical, and nutritional. There is a great correlation and great evidence that if a person is eating healthy and exercising and doing a physical fitness program, that their anxiety and their other emotional needs are greatly reduced.
Okay, so that, I mean, and that's important to know.
It is important,
yeah, very,
and so
very good.
we have learned and we have evolved. So our disappointments, we feel like we have taken those times that we were greatly disappointed and turned those so that now we know how to move more toward the successes.
Perfect. So you are the director of this program, and so what the people see here and what they see you say makes them understand the culture of the organization, and that its leader is voicing, stuff about the organization. So after all of this, why do you, Ms. Donna, why do you do what you do and be involved in an organization like this?
Well, now you're going to make me get weepy-eyed. Probably 7 years ago, I belong to a Southern Baptist church, and we have a women's organization within that group that has different focuses.
Okay.
And so many years ago now, the focus was on human exploitation.
Okay.
And so we were studying about human trafficking. And I started feeling the Lord leading me to do something.
Yeah.
To help. And of course, I had no idea how to do that because I have no background in social work. I would be the least qualified by worldly standards to take on this endeavor. But a group of women came together and we prayed. And we just established that whatever doors the Lord opened, we would walk through them.
Yeah.
That we would educate ourselves, and if He opened the doors, we'd walk through it. But we also told Him we were not touching the doorknob.
Sure. Right.
Swing it open and we'll walk through it. And He did, in a great and mighty way. And
nice.
So I studied, researched for about 2 years before we opened the shelter. And then we opened the shelter. We had our first resident come through in January of 2014.
So you've been there all along.
I've been there all along.
You've helped to kind of stand it up and things like that.
Exactly.
Awesome. That is very cool. And I think that a lot of people can relate to something like that. The Lord has called a lot of people to do a lot of things, and thank goodness for people like you who answer that.
Well, there is
call.
an army of us out there, a lot of dedicated women that volunteer within that shelter, and they're everyday women.
So let me ask you,
nothing special outside of being available when the Lord called them to this ministry.
And if that calling is on somebody today, what can they do to become involved? There you go.
Sure. We are having a volunteer training workshop November 10th. You can find that information on our Facebook page. And this is designed for any and everyone to attend, where you will get really in-depth information about what it takes to work within the shelter. Now, working within the shelter is limited to women. However, men do attend the workshop because there are times that we need security.
Sure.
There's times that we have other events going on, and so any and everyone can come.
Right.
Oftentimes, husbands want to come if their wife is interested because
Absolutely.
he certainly wants to know what she's getting herself into.
Yes, yes.
So that is a great opportunity because you're not committing to anything, but you're getting really in-depth information about what that program looks like and what is required. And so then after that, you can make a decision, well, is this for me or forget about that.
And either way, you have added a valuable tool to your life. So you can, okay, perfect. And then you do have an event coming up this weekend.
We do.
Okay, can you talk a little bit about that?
I would love to. Saturday, October the 20th, is our 5th annual Run for Hope. This is our largest fundraising event of the year. It provides about a third of our budget.
Oh, wow.
We receive no government help. We don't ask for it. We don't want it. We operate strictly through individuals, churches, and businesses that donate to Hope Haven. We feel like that we work for Christ. We know we work for Christ. And that He will provide what we need through His people. And so our fundraising event is very important to us. It will be, as I said, October the 20th, this Saturday. It's not too late to pre-register. You can go to our website, hopehavenal.com, register there. 100% of your participation fee goes to the direct care of victims of human trafficking.
And that right there is
That's
great
incredible,
to know.
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have sponsors that help us pay for the race, the T-shirts, the after party, and by the way, we will have a fun after
Nice.
party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very kid friendly with inflatables.
So what's the location? Where's the race going to be?
It's going to be at Foley First Baptist Church. The race will begin promptly at 8 a.m. You can register the day of the race at 7:30. It costs a little more to register the day of.
Okay.
But it's $25 pre-register, $30 the day of. So please come out, join us. We would love to have you.
And it's not just it's a run walk.
It is run or walk.
So
and right now the participants are about divided between the registrations that we have had come in thus far. With about 50% runners, 50% walkers.
There you go.
I'm definitely on the walker side.
And then and you have a shirt here. Now, are these for purchase or?
Well, of course, we'll make sure that we have fulfilled what we need for the participants to have their shirts. But we'd be happy to sell you a T-shirt if you did not come by.
Very nice.
To participate. And so it's a very nice T-shirt. It's very soft, spun cotton, and would give our information, and then it has our sponsors.
Perfect.
On the back. So if you miss sponsoring us this year, we'll be here next year too.
There's an opportunity. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for doing what you do. I felt that it was definitely important for our audience to see that, understand it. It happens everywhere, like you said, and there are ways. And I do want to clear this up. Even for it is a women's only shelter. However, if there are males that need to get involved or you suspect something has happened, please call the number, and they'll be able to help. That's right.
Even if it's a minor, we don't accept minors at our shelter. That's on our down the road list to do. But even if it's a minor, we can help find the shelter for the minors.
Right. So just make the phone call no matter what, because help will come your way. So thank you, Miss Donna.
Thank you for having us.
Until next time, thank you guys. Visit us, subscribe to our YouTube page and the 251 Connection on Facebook. And we'll see you next time.